Happy Sunday, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you're at. Happy Sunday, guys. Gonna get into some options trading, teaching you guys how to create a watch list, an options trading watch list. So for you guys that are out there that's watching, shout out to you for jumping on. I appreciate it. For all those that are on YouTube, if this is your first time checking me out, thank you. I appreciate you and your time. Make sure you click on that subscribe. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. I'm going to be getting into how to create an options trading watch list. This is something that I do every single day that has allowed me to have a winning record of 80% or better in the market options trading. So for those that are out there, I hope you are able to get so much value from this. All right, so before I start, I want to real quickly just want to do a sound check, making sure that you guys can hear me. So in that comment section, guys, in that comment section or in the chat section, if you guys can hear me, type in yes. Let me get a go ahead. Just want to make sure that everything is good to go. So in the comment section, just let me get a yes. So I know that you guys are good and we can get started. And then for those that are out there, don't forget to make sure you tap on that subscribe button. Make sure you tap on that subscribe button. I greatly would appreciate it. And then as I go through this, there's gonna be some, towards the end, I'm gonna have a moment where you guys can ask me whatever questions that you have, any questions that you have. At the end, we're gonna save the questions because I don't want to get too caught up where you guys are missing out on info or get sidetracked. So any questions that you guys have, we're gonna save it towards the end. All right. So with that being said, let's get into it. Thank you. I appreciate those out there that said yes. Nell, shout out to you. Stephanie, shout out to you. Kamel, shout out to you. I appreciate that. Todd Leeper, shout out to you. Anybody else out there that said yes. All right. So with that being said, let's get into it. All right. So when it comes to creating an options watch list, number one thing, you need to have a list. Right. You need to have a list of the stocks that you're going to be trading. So with this list, this is going to be a very important list. All right. And this list is going to be, you're going to be using this list every single day. So therefore, you want to make sure that you're picking the right stocks to be on this list. Because if you can have the right set of stocks, you don't need to trade a million different stocks. I literally trade about 5 to 10 stocks. These are the same stocks that I trade religiously every day. So if you can find the right stocks, you're good. You don't need a million stocks. You're going to go overwhelmed by having so much stocks. So the first thing that you want to do, you want to create a list for yourself. All right. When you're making that list and picking out the stocks, things that you need to consider, things that you need to look at when creating that list is mega cap stocks. These are the stocks that have the highest market capitalization. So these are your big cap, the stocks that move the market. Those are your Apples, your Amazon, NVDA, Google, those stocks. You want to look at those when you're creating that list. And then you want to make about 5 to 10, I'll ask about 5 to 10, literally a handful. And out of that 5 to 10, you'll probably end up trading about 1 to 3 of those a day, right? Because there's so much is going to be happening. If you have your spots, you have your targets, you shouldn't be in the market all day. Normally, when I'm trading, my plan that I have, my watch list that I have set, I'm normally in and out of the trades within like the first hour or two. And then for the rest of the day, if the market is slow, I'm looking and see if there's other opportunities that out there where I'm watching. But if you can have the perfect plan, you have a good base, you should be good. You can get into the market and get out early, right? So when creating that list, things you want to look at is big cap stocks. And then when it comes to that list of having those stocks, you want to make sure that it's optionable. And what I mean by that, you can't just trade any stocks. Some stocks, they don't have any volume. They don't have any volume. So things you have to consider is the relative volume, the overall trading volume. So you have to make sure that it is optionable. Just because you hear something or you hear a company or you see a company whether it's X, formerly known as Twitter, or just on social media, any other social media platform, that doesn't mean that stock is optional. It could be your favorite company. of a product that you like to use, that does not mean that stock is optionable. And I'm going to show you guys a couple examples of some stocks that are optionable that make sense to trade, and there are stocks that does not make sense to trade because they don't have enough volume. So when it comes to making sure that the stocks are optionable, you want to look at the relative trading volume. And what the relative trading value will do, it will tell you how the current volume is compared to the past trading volume. So you want to look at the relative trading volume so you can get a comparison to what the current volume is to the past trading volume over time. And then you want to look at the overall options trading volume. So you want to look at those things to make sure if you're going to be getting into that trade or if you're going to be trading that specific stock, that it has enough volume in there. All right. So I'm going to share a different screen just to give you guys a couple of examples so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So when I share it, let me know if you guys can see. When I share it, so type in yes. If you guys can see, I'm going to share this. So type in yes in that comment section if you can see NVDA. Right now, I'm currently showing you NVDA. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. So with NVDA, we're going to scroll to the bottom, right? Scroll to the bottom, and we're going to look at the overall volume. So this tells us the option volume when it comes to NVDA. So this right here is 2.7 million, right? You see this 2.7 million. So NVDA is one of those stocks that I trade regularly. Also, for those that are out there, this is the Thinkorswim platform, by the way. Thinkorswim platform by TD Ameritrade. So for those that are in the US, this is what I recommend, the Thinkorswim platform by TD Ameritrade. If you're not in the US internationally, I recommend using Interactive Broker or Tasty Trades. Those are two good ones to use if you're international. But for those that are in the US, the Thinkorswim platform by TD Ameritrade and or Charles Schwab, given that they recently merged with each other. All right, so we're looking at NVDA. So NVDA, if you look at NVDA's volume, you're looking at 2.7 million. All right, so now I'm going to show you another example. Let's take a look at QCOM. So we're going to stay in the same sector. We're going to stay in the same sector. So if you look, QCOM has 29,660 in options volume. Same sector, right? I'm just going to show just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. Yep. So I'm going to reshare. Let's see, I want to show you this just so you can see. I'm going to share this screen with you. All right. So we're in the same sector right here. You see the sector right here? We're in the semiconductor sector right here. So if you look at QCOM, right, QCOM and NVDA, we're just comparing these two. Remember I said when you're trading, you want to make sure that stock is optionable. So Qualcomm had about 29,660 in volume in comparison to NVDA, which had about 2.7 million in volume. So you want to make sure if you're going to trade that stock that it has enough volume. So therefore, when you're getting into that trade, you'll have a fighting chance. And the reason why the volume is so important, the reason why it's so important is because you need to be able to sell your contracts. For every buyer needs to be a seller. For every seller needs to be a buyer. If you don't have enough sellers, if there's not enough people there, you can't sell your contracts. You can't get rid of your contracts. And also, if there's not a lot of volume, when you're entering that trade, the spreads are going to be further apart. So you want to make sure that you're trading stocks that have high volume. And also the screen that you guys are seeing, this is FinViz. This is what I use religiously in my Discord when it comes to trading or just looking at the heat map, doing screeners. So for those that are out there, I recommend FinViz. It is awesome to use. I have an elite account, but you can still get access to certain things with a regular account. So like right now, I'm not signed in, so you can see a lot of these. You can get access to it. So I recommend using that. It's finviz.com. So make sure you write that down. And I'm going to show you guys a couple other sites that I use as well too. All right. So I'm going to flip this back here. Reshare. All right. So coming back here now to take a look at QCOM, just so you can see the difference. If you look at QCOM, Down here it says 29,660 in option volume. So now let's take a look at the option chain. This is the option chain right here. All right, we can take a look at the contracts. There's not much options. You don't have a lot of contracts that are available. And then here's why, another reason why it's important in terms of the volume. Take a look at the spread difference. $1.02 is the ask price. The bid price, you're looking at $88, 88 cents. And so what you're going to do, one option contract, for those that don't know, just in case, one option contract equals 100 shares. So what you have to do, you have to multiply this right here, the contract cost by 100 in order to get the true cost of those contracts. So $1.02, so you'd be paying $102 for this contract. But as soon as you purchase this contract right here at $102, it instantly will go down to $88. So you're starting the trade. You're starting that trade down about 10 to 15 to 20% automatically. So you're purchasing this at this price and it instantly goes down here. So this is why it's very important to trade stocks that have high volume, right? So I'm going to give you another example. Let's take a look at NVDA now. We're going to take a look at their contracts. One, if you scroll down, right, there's a bunch of contracts that's here, a bunch of contracts, all right? So you have so much more options than QCOM. And on top of that, the spreads are not as wide as QCOM. So you can find contracts like this is a 6-cent spread difference. This is a 5-cent spread difference. It's not as intense. It's not as big of a spread difference. You have more opportunities to get into trades because there's more contracts that are available. And then if you just look at volume right there, you got 1 million in puts, you got 1.6 million in calls. So this plays a major role. All right, so let's take a couple other examples. So let's take a look at Johnson & Johnson right there. Johnson & Johnson, let's take Johnson & Johnson, 28,433. That's an options volume. That's barely anything. And that's a big company. That's a big company right there. For that healthcare sector, it's an amazing company in terms of dividends, right? And it's also a big cap as well. But this is not optionable. Look at the spread difference. 91 cents and instantly goes down to 79 cents. You're not going to stand a fighting chance. So kind of going back to what I said, you want to pick stocks that are optionable. You want to pick stocks that have high volume. And then you want to look at this is going to make a big difference when it comes to looking at the spreads. And then as well as knowing you can get into the trade, you're going to be able to get out of the trade. You don't have to pay so much for when you're getting in and out. And then if you want to look at the relative volume, what I recommend, I'm going to show you how you can find that and how you can do that. Let me share this screen with you. So you can run screeners. I'm going to share this screen. Let's see. All right, so going back to FinViz, you can run screeners to find the relative volume right here. You can run screeners to be able to find it. So kind of going back to what I was saying in terms of relative volume. So it compares the current volume to the past trading volume over time. So therefore, you can know exactly if that stock trades with high volume, with what's going on with it. Something to think about, if it's showing 3.5 relative volume or higher, that's what you want. You want that. Normally, you want about 3.5 or higher. You can do 2.5, but an average, if you like, I like to look at 2.5, 3.5 over that when it comes to trading, just getting some good stocks in there. So that's something to look at when it comes to relative volume. So think about it this way. If the stock is trading with 3.5 relative volume, that means it's trading with 3.5 times its normal volume. So let me repeat that. So if the stock is trading with 3.5 relative volume, that means it's trading with 3.5 times its normal volume. So that's something to think about when you're trading: options volume, the overall volume, and then the relative volume. All right. So use FinViz. you can run a couple screeners in there, put it over 2.5. 2.5 is ideal. 3.5, the higher it is, the better it is. The higher it is, the better it is. But ideally, 2.5 over, that should be good to go. I'm going to share this back. And then other things to think about, right? Other things to think about when it comes to the overall volume is contract volume. All right, contract volume. You can run screeners, you can run scans on Thinkorswim as well. Let me show you guys just so you can see. So I'm going to share Thinkorswim. So I normally like to run scanners on Thinkorswim as well. So on Thinkorswim, this is a tip, something you can write down. So if you come on Thinkorswim, where it says scan, you can run a scanner. We're going to run a scanner right here. Click scan. Make sure that it's an option. Make sure that this says volume and you want it to be at 10,000 or more. And all you're going to do, you're going to click on scan. And it's going to tell you the stocks, the contracts that are moving with the most volume. Granted, the market is closed right now, so you're not going to see it, but it's going to be at 10,000 and above. So this is something that I do every morning. I'll run a scan just to kind of see what stocks are trading with the most volume, right? And then I will do another scan on FinViz with relative volume, and I would do another scan either on barchart.com for to see what are the most active options. I'm going to share that as well, just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about and show you guys. Make sure you guys are writing this down. Also, you can watch this as well. And also for those that are out there, guys, make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button as well. For those that are watching, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. So I'm going to share this screen as well so you can see. So this site, write it down, it's called barchart.com. This is where I also find what stocks in terms of and volume to look at. So all you would do is get in here where it says options. You want to look at the most active options, and then you'll see the stocks that are trading with the most volume. So like, for example, stocks that I trade regularly, Tesla, NVDA, Apple, Amazon, QQQ, AMD, these stocks, you'll be able to see what's moving with what volume it'll tell you in here. All right, so these are a couple of things that you can do to get a screen on. So let me share this back now. All right, so let me, can you guys see the screen? Just to make sure you guys still there. Just making sure you guys are good to go. You can see and you can hear me, everything's good. And then any questions that you guys have, I'm going to answer your questions at the end. I'll take the questions at the end. Just want to make sure that I'm able to get through everything for you guys. So the next thing, now that we have picked out our stocks, about 5 to 10 stocks, right, the next thing that we have to figure out is what is happening that week, what is going on that week. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that you're tapped in, that you understand all the major events that are in the market, because that will affect everything. So for example, upgrades and downgrades. With upgrades, when you get an upgrade in a stock, that is going to give that stock a little bit of a boost. So therefore, there's going to be a high probability that that stock is going to move up. If you get a downgrade in that stock, there's going to be a higher probability that that stock is going to move down. So once you pick out your 5 to 10 stocks, and now you have your 5 to 10 stocks. So what you would do now, right, we want to come to the upgrade and downgrade. All right, we want to come to the upgrade and downgrade to see if any of those stocks got an upgrade or any of those stocks have a downgrade. And I want to scan every morning to see, hey, are there any upgrades or any downgrades? And here's a site that you can use to see it, to monitor it. And it's called marketwatch.com. I'm going to share it with you. So this site right here, this is where I see the upgrades, where I see downgrades. So marketwatch.com, and you want to come in here. You want to look at the upgrades, and you can simply just click on this right here. Make it very easy. Look at the upgrades. So if you get an upgrade, remember, that means that stock has a higher probability of moving up. If you get a downgrade, right? If those analysts are downgrading that stock, that's going to influence people to sell. So therefore, that helps your case if you're looking to get in puts or if you're looking to get in calls. Trading is all about probability. So the higher the probability of that stock going in your direction, the higher the probability of you winning that trade. So if we're getting an upgrade, right? If you're getting an upgrade, that means calls. There's a higher probability I may make money from calls today. If you're getting a downgrade, that tells me there's a higher probability I will get into some puts to make some money because there's a downgrade. So there's a higher probability for me to make money with puts. All right. The other thing that I like to look at is earnings. That is huge. So for example, this week, there are some mega earnings happening. All right, mega earnings happening. So I want to see what stocks out of that list are reporting earnings because I know because those stocks are reporting earnings, people are more likely going to trade those stocks that week because, hey, we're trying to make money. So they know earnings coming. So everything is kind of going to be inflated. They're going to be moving pretty much kind of like on steroids. But the way that I do it, I will trade it up until the day before and I'll wait after. The reason why, because those Greeks, the contracts, those premiums, they will get very inflated because everybody is trying to buy it. So you may get screwed. So what I will do is I will trade it up until the day before the earnings report. So for example, this is PayPal's reporting earnings. All right, let's see who else we got. We have Apple this week, AMD. I think AMD is on Tuesday. And also, this is earningwhispers.com. Type this site. This is something that I look at and I always send out when it comes to doing my watch list. So earningswhispers.com. And then you can just scroll through. So like, for example, Amazon is reporting earnings. AMD is reporting earnings. So these are stocks that I trade regularly. So the day of the earnings, right, I'll probably won't be trading that stock. But before that and after that, I will be trading it. So the day of is going to come with a high, the problem is going to come with a higher risk that day. It's going to come with a higher risk that day. You have Starbucks trading, reporting earnings. So these are things that I like to look at that within that list. And AMD, these are stocks that I trade regularly. I'm just going to show you real quick, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So show you. So for example, this is my watch list right here. So this is the watch list that every day I send out a watch list in my Discord. So for those that don't know, this is my Discord server right here. All right. So just make sure that you guys can see. All right. So this is my Discord server. So every morning I send out a watch list. So AMD, given that AMD is reporting earnings, so therefore that day you won't see me have AMD on my watch list. All right, because there's a higher risk that day because of earnings. So the stock is probably going to be moving very erratically, right? But this is where, if you can see here, even FinViz, like what I was saying. And also too, something to keep in mind. So if you look at this heat map, if you already have those stocks in your list, based on the pre-market price action, you can use it as like a predetermining factor or like a precursor for what the day may look like. So if this looks very mixy, this normally gives me an idea. All right, it's probably going to be a mixy day. Granted, it's not guaranteed. There's a likelihood that may be what it's going to be. So if there's a stock that I want to trade in NVDA and I see NVDA is up about 1.5%, that means, okay, NVDA, there's a high probability NVDA may continue to get a run because it's moving well in pre-market. It's not guaranteed, but this gives me a higher percentage that, okay, we might continue to get a move up. So when I'm doing my watch list, I'll look to see the pre-market, all right, what's doing good, what's not doing good, kind of goes back to that list, right? Goes back to that list. And then I'm going to show you guys, let's see, for example, with the earnings. Let's see if we can, just so you can see. So like here, last week, there were some massive earnings that was happening as well. We had Tesla reporting earnings. There was Meta, there was Microsoft, there was Google that was reporting earnings. So these were the things that I was looking at. So the same thing that I'm looking at for this week in terms of what's coming, right? Same things that I'm looking at. And then Other things that I look at is the economic calendar. All right, I'm going to show you the economic calendar is something that I monitor religiously because that also affects everything. That affects everything because depending on what's happening that week, you may not get any trading volume. So when you're doing your watch list, you want to stay in tune with what's happening, what's going on for the week. So for example, I want to show you, let's share this. All right, so write this site down. This is Forex Factory. Forex Factory. So forexfactory.com. And when you get in here, just click on calendar and it will tell you what's happening for the week. So this week is a major week. If you take a look, these are all the economic activity that's going to be happening. Mind you, we have earnings. So this tells me it's going to be an action-packed week. It's going to be very volatile. We have Fed Chair Powell on Wednesday. Right. So when I'm doing my watch list, I'm taking all these things into consideration. This will go into the risk. This goes into the probability. So all this, take it in consideration. Right. Let's go back here just so you can see. Right. So I'm going to scroll just so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. See right here. I know if at 9:45 a.m., say if some reports are coming out. Like I'll keep that in mind. So I may wait until after reports because the red calendars, they affect the price action. All right. It will either influence a move up or move down, depending if the reporting, if it's good or bad. So when you're in Forex Factory, you want to make sure when you're on this site, you want to make sure that you look at the red calendars, the ones that are highlighted. So you have to filter it out to the red calendars and you should be good. And that will show you exactly all the things that are happening that week. So you're using all these different things. So when making a watch list, using all these things in combination, because that all goes back into probability. It goes back into risk management. All right, let me share this back. And then as you can see, all these things right here. So FinViz, all three of them right here. All right. So this tells me to be mindful of my risk, all these different things, because I know there's so much that's happening. So much that's happening. And for those that are out there, if you're not a part of the Discord already, if you're not a part, I'll leave the link below to get access to the Discord. And then this is the watch list. So in the watch list, this is where I send out signals. This is where I send out day trading, swing trading, signals, alerts. Oh, in the Discord, this is where I send out everything. So in the watch list, this is where, before I get into every trade, if you're not familiar, this is where you'll see me put what I'm watching for the day with the prices. And I'm going to show you guys how I get these prices as well, right, for calls and puts, because I prepare for both up and down, right? This is why I'm showing the upgrades now. We want to prepare for both because the market is very unpredictable. So therefore, you want to prepare for both, right? One side may have a higher probability, but being that we know the market is very unpredictable, you have to be ready for whatever the market throws at you, right? So in this watch list, in this right here, in the Discord, in the watch list, I'll let everybody know the stocks that I plan on trading with the prices. I let everybody know the contracts that I'm going to be purchasing. I explain and give you a breakdown so you can understand why I'm entering the trades yourself. So therefore, you're not entering these trades blindly. You're learning and earning at the same time. So like, for example, this is a trade that I was getting ready to get into. So this is me explaining it, breaking it down right here. And then after that, I will come in here in the day trade or swing trade channel, and I will send out the alert. That means letting you know that I'm buying it. I am entering it. Mind you, I give you a heads up to get ready to enter the trade. And in every trade that I enter, they all are small account friendly. None of these trades cost more than $130. I make sure to keep it small account friendly. So this is $112, this is $92, $94. And remember, like I said before, one option contract equals 100 shares. So you have to multiply it by 100 to get the true cost of your contracts, right? And then after I get into these trades, I come in here, I keep you posted with what's happening with the trade. I let you know when you should be taking profits, what the current contract price is. I pretty much hold your hands throughout the whole process, So you take profit if comfortable. I'll let you know when I'm taking it. So I hold your hands from the beginning to the end. And also, if any of our members that are on here, shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys for being valued members of the server. So shout out to you guys. So I can say anything, I can say a million things. It doesn't matter if our members, they're not profiting, they're not benefiting from any of this, right? And then also have courses, more videos, and just like I'm on here, webinar, helping you guys as well. So there's a lot more video on options trading as well. All right, so I'm going to share that screen back here. We're going to get into the next. All right, so the next thing that we're going to get into, and I'll leave the link below, guys, for those that want to get access to it. I'll leave the link below so you can get access to the Discord. So now charting. This is the next part. So we have our list. All right, we have our list. All right, we have our list. So now that we have our list, we have to find those entries. We have to find those exits. All right, this is the part. This is your bread and butter. This is the fun part right here. All right, so I'm going to give you guys some examples. I'm going to show you. Let me flip this. Any questions that you guys have, I'm going to answer the questions at the end. So you can type in your questions now, and I'll try to read and scroll through at the end, or you can save it for the end because I don't want to get sidetracked because of all the info that I got to give. So any questions that you guys have, feel free to type it in, and I will get to you guys once we get to the end. All right. So like I was saying, in terms of probability, right, you want to trade stocks that have, well, options trading is about probability and risk management. So you want to trade stocks that's going to give you a higher probability to make money, to make profit. Right. So we want to look for high probability setups. But how do we find high probability setups? So this is where charting comes in. So what we're going to do, we're going to look for those supply and demand zones. We're going to look for, use the indicators. We're going to use for the trends. We're going to use everything in accordance with each other. We're going to use everything in accordance with each other for these setups. All right, so I'm going to share this screen. Show you. All right, so a couple of things just so you can see. NVIDIA is one of the stocks that I love to trade. So I'm going to do this. We're going to start out on the naked chart. All right, so we're going to start out on the naked chart. We're going to remove all the indicators. All right, so when it comes to finding a high probability setup, right, when it comes to finding a high probability, first thing you want to do when you're looking at your chart, right, you want to start with the bigger time frame. So the daily, you want to work your way down, 4 hour, the 1 hour, and then the 5 and the 1 minute. So for when it comes to swing trading, I'm using the daily chart, I'm using the 4 hour chart and the 1 hour chart. Day trading, I'm using the 1 hour chart, I'm using the 1 minute and then the 5 minutes. So now, looking at this chart, right, first thing that I want to do is identify the overall trend. Right, I want to identify this trend because, like I said, trading is all about probability. So what you want to do from left to right, high to low, low to high, you want to simply draw a line to the current price, or you can draw a line right there. This tells me this stock is bullish. You do the same thing in a smaller time frame, go to a 4 hour, draw a line, tells me the same thing. This is bullish. So say if I'm looking to swing trade, I know I will have a higher probability for calls if I want to do some leaps. All right, go to the 1 hour. Now, the 1 hour is a little different now. We got some sideways movement. We got some downward movement. All right, so remember, like I said, for day trading, I'm looking at the 1 hour. I'm looking at the 5 minute, the 1 minute. All right, I'm taking everything in consideration because the more things that I have means the more confirmation that means it's going to tell me the higher probability that I have of winning that trade. Once I can identify that trend and that time, and within that time frame, it gives me an idea of what I'm going to be getting into, whether it's calls or whether it's puts. So in the 5 minutes, this is going up. So this tells me it's bullish. This tells me calls. I have a higher probability with calls. So it can go to the 1 minute. Same thing, 1 minute. We're moving up. So this tells me higher probability with calls. So remember, like I said, I prepare for calls and I prepare for puts. So you have to, because the market is very unpredictable. So therefore, you have to have a plan for both directions. So once you've identified the trend, now the next thing that you want to do, you want to look for if there's any patterns, if there's anything that sticks out to you. All right, so let me clear this. So with day trading, given that I'm looking at the 1 hour, the 1 minute, and the 5 minute, so I want to look at if there's any patterns or anything that sticks out to me. So like, for example, right here, right? This tells me this is a bull flag. I see a bull flag formation right here. So boom, boom. All right. So let's go to the 1 hour time frame. I'm looking at the 1 hour, find something right here. Boom. So clear this back out for you guys. So I'm starting with the 1 hour time frame. I'm charting on the 1 hour time frame, and I'm working my way down for day trading. So 1 hour, 5 minute, 1 minute. I want to look to see if there's any patterns. I want to know the trend. I want to see if there's anything that sticks out to me. We haven't used any of the indicators yet. We're just purely just understanding the price action, getting a read for what's happening. So therefore, we can know, hey, are we going to have a higher probability with the trade going up, going down for calls or for puts? We're going to look for some setups. Your supply and demand zones are going to be your entry areas or support and resistance, however you want to say. These are the areas that something is more likely to happen. These are the areas where you're more likely to get a rejection. These are the areas where you're more likely to get a bounce. So for example, I'm going to show you, say if I'm charting, right? And when I chart, I'm looking at pre-market, after hours, so everything in consideration. Everything in consideration. So this is the 1 hour, and this is for NVDA. So automatically in a 1 hour, right here, remember, I'm looking at my supply and demand zones. So you see this big rejection area over here? Let's look for some bounce areas. See, this was right here, this is an area right here, rejection area, possible bounce area. And if you notice, started bouncing here, went up here, moved sideways. We're still stuck within that area. We broke below that. So this tells me, remember, like I was saying, those main areas, these are the spots where something is more likely to happen. So when I'm looking for my entries, I'm looking at areas, I'm having the prices where something is more likely to happen. And I'm using that in accordance with the option volume. I'm using that in accordance with the technical indicators. So those EMAs, the RSIs, the MACDs. But first, I need to identify those areas. I need to have those targets, those supply and demand zones. So this right here, and you got it right here, you got an area down here. So this was a nice little bounce area. The stock worked its way back up, rejected over here. Boom. You see that? Or even if you want to do it from here, see this? So anytime that I'm getting my levels, I know these are main areas to look at. Main areas to look at. So I will write those prices down. I will have it for possible entries. I will have it for possible exits. So targets, exit points. And then if you look, well, even if you go to the 5 minute, you see those same areas that were on the 1 hour. If you look at the 5 minute, they end up becoming bounce areas. You see that? Mind you, I got that in the 1 hour. So now what I will do, I will have all the indicators. And for those that don't know, I use the 8 EMA, the 21 EMA, Let me zoom in a little bit. So the 8 EMA, the 21 EMA, the 50-day SMA, the 100-day SMA, the 200-day SMA. All right. Before I forget, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. For those that are watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So these are my indicators. I have the RSI. I'm looking to see if there's anything that's overbought, 70 or above. If anything that's oversold at 30 or below, for possible bounces, possible rejects. So I'm using all these in accordance. I'm looking at the MACD to see if there's any crossovers. I'm looking at my options volume. So all these play a role. All these work hand in hand. So, for example, say if I wanted to get into a trade, let me share this. Share. So like, for example, with this trade right here, this was NVDA. So if you look, you see these purple lines? You see this green line? So I had my areas already that I got. So when I do my trend line, when I mark it in here, I know this is exactly, all right, this right here is a possible rejection area. So I may get a reversal over here. So if you look, you see that? Rejected it multiple times. I know this was another main bounce area, main support area. So this tells me here, if I'm going to get into a trade, this is where would be my profit area, my target area. Granted, you may not get to that direct target because I'm also monitoring the volume, because if volumes start to die down, if the options volume starts to die down, or if that's the stock starts to become oversold, that means we may get a relief bounce. There's a higher probability. The probability now starts to get lower and lower because that stock may reverse on you. So you don't want to hold it, just say, hey, it's automatically going to get there. Remember, the stock market can be very irrational at times. People can panic and people can sell. So you have to take that in consideration. Right. So, but as you guys can see right here, this was after. Right here. This was a level, a big area that I had, and this is NVDA, and I had gotten that from the 1 hour, and then it was also ended up being a bounce area in pre-market. So I knew automatically to wait until we hit that area, may get a bounce, or if we break that area, to get into some puts. And then that rejection area that I had before, so all those there. And if you notice, you had the 200-day moving average. A lot of things are happening around that area. A lot of things are happening around that area. And then prior to that, I already had my spots where these things were more likely to happen. So all I'm doing is just waiting for them to happen around those areas, around those prices. Once I have my prices, I'm just waiting and watching, okay, what's going to happen around that area? Are we going to get a bounce? Are we going to get a reject? Are we going to get volume that comes in? And as those things are happening together, the more things that happen, the more confirmation that I have, that tells me the higher the probability that I'm going to get into that trade to make some money, because this is part of the plan. All right. Also, if you're just now getting on, this is my Discord server. This is where, in this watch list right here, this is where I let you know the prices that I'm looking at. For calls, puts, remember the market, like I've said, the market is very unpredictable. So you have to prepare for both, and which is what I'm teaching you guys and showing you that right now. Right. I also let everybody know why I'm entering these trades. I let you know the targets, which is I'm showing you exits, how I get it. And then I come in here, I send out the signal, whether it's day trading, swing trading. I let you know the contract prices in advance. And after we get into the trade, I come in here, I keep you posted on what's happening with the trade. I let you know when you should be taking profit, when you should be closing. I hold your hands throughout the whole process. So for those that do want to get access to my Discord, I'll leave the link below. Make sure you click that link to get access to it. All right. So now This is a couple losses do happen, by the way, too. So, because I know a lot of times people don't tell you about losses. Losses do happen. I also have a risk management guide in here. I'm not worried if I get losses. Why? Because I understand risk management and I win a lot more than I lose. I win percentage over 80%. All right. So for those, if you don't understand risk management, I suggest you get in here, you go through this, and this can be applied to any account size. All right. So I'm going to reshare this. All right. So with that being said, takes us to the next thing. All right. I'm going to answer some questions. So if you have any questions, type it in, or if you typed it in already, I'm going to go through it and answer some questions. So any questions that you guys have, type it in. Any questions that you guys have, feel free to type it in. Type in your questions, guys. Let's see. Arrow Gamer, can we do Zoom for daily live tradings? That's something looking at for later on, not at the moment. Any questions that you guys have, feel free to type it in. That is something I plan on doing later on, not right now. Also, guys, make sure to tap in that subscribe button. Make sure to tap in that subscribe button. Let's see. Sir, was this recorded? I am one of your clients, Cheryl Warren. Yes, I will drop the recordings. I will drop the recordings in the Discord. I will drop the recording in the Discord. And then I'll drop it in here as well on YouTube. So Cheryl, shout out to you, Cheryl. Nell, can you go back to the last slide? I wanted to do a screenshot. Yes. So 1 second, I got you. All right, so this is the last slide. Get your screenshot. Type in your questions, guys. And then for those that are watching, make sure you click on that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're not a member of my Discord, I'll leave the link below. Make sure you're clicking that link to get access to it. I let you know trades that I get into before I get into the trade. I'll let you know the contract prices. I'll let you, pretty much I will hold your hands throughout the whole process. Every trade that I get into, they're all small account friendly. Nothing costs more than $130. When we're in the trades, I keep you posted. Let's see, Stephanie, are these two different T? I'm not sure. I'm understanding your question, Stephanie. Are there two different T? I'm not. Oh, I see. Thinkorswim platform. Got it. Got it. No, there's one Thinkorswim platform, but giving that Thinkorswim platform was part of TD Ameritrade. Charles Schwab recently bought or merged with TD Ameritrade. So you'll probably get two options. Well, say TD Ameritrade or Charles Schwab. So whichever one that you had, whether it was Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade, you can use both to log in. Right? You can use both to log into the Thinkorswim platform. So the Thinkorswim platform is available for both. There's only one. Is there a way to see your screen when we trade in the morning? Cheryl, yes, because every morning I'm going to show you. So automatically I do a screenshot of my screen to begin with every morning. So every time I get into a trade, I want to share the screen so you can see. So like there's screenshots. I'm going to new share. All right, so if you look right here, all right, This is me sharing my screen. It's in here in the watch list for every single trade. So like, for example, right, just want to show you, right? So this right here was AMD or NVDA. And this was a trade that we had gotten into. I think this was the trade that I think we made like either 30% on it or 33% or something like that. And then I had gotten that because I had saw this on the 4 hour when I was charting. I saw on the 4 hour, there was forming a bear flag, kind of going back to the patterns I saw was forming a bear flag. And then that was also a key area of support, key supply and demand zone. And if you look in a 1 minute, form that. So this was me showing a screenshot that I was getting ready to get into that trade for NVDA. And then this was after. This was after. All right. So before this is pre-market. And then this was after the trade. So mind you, as I was monitoring this, I had already told everybody I was getting into this trade. Right here, I was looking NVDA April 19th, 795 put. So I was telling everybody in advance to get ready for this trade. And then I came in here. I sent out the signal for NVDA to get into that trade. And then after I got into that trade, it was April 19th. Let's see, it was April 19th, $795 or $790 put. Let's see, this was it, April 19th. There you go. So this was the 81% on that one. $790 put April 19th. And that was all before. All right, so you can see my screen is there already. Everything is in real time. Everything is live as it's happening. Let's see, next question. Cheryl, I want to learn from you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And you can. You're learning and earning. Just follow everything that I'm saying because I break it down and explain it in the server on my Discord so you can understand it for yourself. So you're not blindly just entering a trade. Let's see. Carmel coded 619. This is Remy, another great webinar. Thank you for all that you do. 2024 has been my most profitable year yet with your guidance. That is awesome. Shout out to you, Remy. I appreciate that. I appreciate those words. Shout out to you for being a valued member of the server. You are always showing love, whether I'm on TikTok, whether I'm on YouTube, whether I'm on Discord. I appreciate that. Congrats on you, profiting. Congrats on you just having a wonderful 2024. So I appreciate that comment. So for those, I'm just reading the comments, reading the questions in the chat. So shout out to you, Remy. And also shout out to any of our other members if you're on here. So some of our member gains here. Shout out to all of our members. I appreciate you guys, for those of you that are on here, for being valued members of the server. Thank you. Thank you so much for trusting in me to help you in this crazy, crazy market. It's not as easy as I may make it look, guys. It's not easy. There's a lot of work, a lot of preparation, like you see, from setting up these watch lists and being patient, and at the same time being confident when I see it to take it, not being afraid. So there's a lot that goes into it. All right. So shout out to everybody. Let's go next question. Greg MBA, sometimes you buy 30 contracts, other times you buy 50. Can you also tell us, hey guys, a little double and the signal is going to hit big time? Greg MBA, shout out to you for being a valued member of this question. That's funny. I don't know when it's going to hit big or not. I don't know. I can't predict the market, but I did give everybody a heads up that I was going to be purchasing more contracts and sticking with my risk management strategy. So on average, I used to buy about 30 to 40 contracts or 25 to 40 contracts. And then I've increased, as my account, because normally I have a set amount that I do every month and I'll remove and start fresh. This time where I amped it up a little bit, a lot of my account to get a little bigger. So I'm not taking as much out as I regularly would, but now I've adjusted my risk management strategy. But I'm still sticking to it. So even though I'm going with 50 contracts, I still have the same confidence as when I was going with 30 contracts. In every trade, I'm looking to be profitable in that trade. I don't know what the percentage will be. And the reason why, because there are so many different factors that I'm monitoring at that specific time. All right. So I wish you guys can see. I have like 5 different screens that's in front of me. So when I'm in a trade like this, I'm literally looking at the contracts. I'm looking at like what's happening with the charts. I'm looking at the Discord typing, and I'm also looking at monitoring, my gains as well, so I can make sure that I'm getting out with you guys in accordance. So there's a lot that's happening. So I treat every trade the same. I treat every single trade the same. I would love to hit 80% on every single trade. But I'm happy even with the 5%. I still have the same amount of excitement with the 5% as I do with an 80%. So great question, Greg. Another question, Nell, I'm looking forward to joining your Discord on May 1st. It's my birthday gift to myself, May 2nd. That is awesome. Shout out to you, Nell, and happy pre-birthday. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Discord. Shout out to you and happy early birthday. I hope that this year brings lots of profit, lots of blessings to you. So shout out to you, Nels. Lalit Shabra, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Can you show a bear flag and bull flag pattern? Yes. So let me I'm going to share my chart. Hold on, I got you. I'm going to show you a bear flag and a bull flag. Okay. So let's see. Actually, no, I can just take a look at the Discord. All right. So this is a bear flag right here. This is a bear flag. When you have a strong downward movement, right? Strong downward movement, what will happen? The stock will start to form this pattern. This is a bear flag pattern. So you see the bottom channel at the bottom support. What I like to look for, if we break this right here, this bottom support with some selling pressure, and then entry level, I like to get into. I can try to get in a little early at the break of this channel. However, with how this market has been, there's a lot of reversals that happen, or the volume drops off a lot earlier than before. So I primarily like to wait for the bottom support right here, like the bottom level right here to get in and I'll be monitoring if we get enough selling pressure to break, because there are times we'll break this, but in reverse right here. So what I like to look for the break to get a continuation. So this is a bear flag, and a bull flag will just be the opposite. All right, so let's show you a bull flag. And then you don't need to know every single pattern. You just need to know a couple patterns and just stick with it. Know a couple patterns, stick with them. You'll see them regularly. All right, that's all you really need. So there you go, another bear flag right here. Bear flag right here. See that? This is another bear flag. This is another bear flag. This was a NVDA trade. No, this was AMD trade we made money in. This is bear flag. So before, as it was developing, see that? As it's happening, as it's developing right here. And in that moment, it's forming a bear flag. Mind you, guys, like I said before, my watch list, I had AMD as one of the stocks that I wanted to trade. We were busy that day. So AMD was one of the stocks that we wanted to trade. So we were just waiting around that area, and the bear flag formed around that area right here. So now all I was waiting for, selling pressure. And if you look, you have, see that? The 8 EMA, the 21 EMA, so that rejection. So it's a lot that was happening in that little area right here, which was also a bounce area over here too, as you can see. So bounce area, reject area, bounce, reject. All right, so the stock had dropped, came back up, retested those levels, formed the bear flag, and then afterwards, and we profited and made money in that trade. That was AMD. So that is a bear flag. Let's look for a bull flag for you. Let's see a bull flag. This is a bull flag right here. This is NVDA. This is a bull flag. So you just flip it the opposite way. We have a upward bullish movement, and then we'll form this channel, and you'll get a continuation. See that? Bull flag. It's set up. And then let's see if I can find another one. See a bear flag. But remember, I told you guys I like to see the break. You see how this reversal it reversed at the bottom right here. So right there, let's see if we can find another one. That's a lot of bear flags. Let's see if I can look and see if we can get some more bull flags. This is a bull flag formation setting right there. Bull flag formation setting. Let's see. Bull flag. See that right here? Bull flag. Continuation upward. So there you go, right there. All right, so if we get more, we get a continuation. See, bull flag again. And this was a trade that we made money on Friday on some calls. Made some money on Friday with some calls. And this was a nice bull flag, beautiful breakout that we got into it. All right, so hope you guys can see that. Let's answer a couple more questions. Let's see, what's the other question? Let me just read. Let's see, Greg, you the man. Thank you for everything. You're welcome. Shout out to you, Greg. I appreciate that. Shout out to you, Greg. I appreciate that. Thank you for being a valued member of the server. For those that want to get access to the server, the link is going to be below. So make sure you click on that link to get access to my Discord. And then make sure that you're clicking that subscribe button. Let's see the next one. Cheryl, this is good teaching. You're welcome. Arrow Gamer, thank you, Junior. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's see, Vipul Patel. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. When we trade a pattern, should we enter right of the break of the pattern? No, because there are times you can get caught in a reversal. There are times when you can get caught in a reversal. So there's a lot of trades I can get in early, but I want to make sure that there's enough either buying or selling pressure, because there are times they'll come right back up and retest. There are times it may just break and automatically go there, but I like to play it safe. That's me. Yes, that may be limiting the amount of profits that I can make, but at the same time, also it minimizes my risk of losing that trade. So it all depends. You just got to assess it. Every situation is kind of different. So where there are times where, say, if a stock is just doing phenomenal, they have an upgrade, they're trading with a great amount of volume, right? There's not a lot of resistance. There's not a lot. It's like it has a clear path or there's a gap to fill. Then yeah, I will look to get in instantly in a break. So certain things I have to take in consideration. And also too, when every trade that I get into, I'm not kind of goes back to, I'm not trying to get in to just get a massive percentage or anything like that. My goal is to make sure that I'm green all the time, because I'm not only trading for myself. This is what I do full time, but I'm trading for you guys as well. So as opposed to trying to get in early to make more money, I have to take in consideration that it's not just only my money, it's also other people. So I don't want you guys to get caught in a reversal. And there's times this happened. Like there was one trade that happened on Thursday. I got caught instantly in a reversal, right? And I thought it was a beautiful play. We got the break, but instantly it just came right back down, right? So things like that tend to happen. I can't predict the market, but I can, manage my risk, and I can just be smart about certain things, not get too excited and try to play every breakout. Let's see, Arrow Gamer, is it possible for more swing trades? Yes, it is possible for more swing trades. I love day trading a lot more because it comes with less risk. But yes, it's possible for more swing trade. It's just the market has just been at all-time highs. It's just been all over the place. Every day, every week, I feel like there's something going on. Economy this, economy that, we got war. So it's like so many different things where I'm thinking about others that are out there, because you can make more with swing trading, but you can lose more with swing trading. So I try to attack it with more of a conservative approach. So I'm not just doing everything that I see, right? I try to just, hey, is this a 80% chance or better probability that if I get into this trade, if I send this signal out that for us to get into this trade, that we're going to win that trade? Day trading, I have more control where I can manage. Swing trading, you can wake up the next day. Everything was like on point in terms of the setup, but a news came out and everything flipped upside down. So there's more risk associated with it. But yes, I can. That is something I will look to do more of. So shout out to you, Arrow Gamer. See you next question. No, not a question. Elite Shabra, thank you so much. You're welcome. You're welcome. Patel, thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome. Tom Birch, did you record this? I had you on a reminder Central Time. It's all good, Tom. Yes, I'll drop the recording in the Discord, and I'm gonna drop it on here on YouTube as well. So for those that are on YouTube, you'll be seeing this soon. Just make sure to tap that subscribe button. Make sure you click on that link, and also make sure that you let me get a like as well for all you guys that are on here. Make sure I get a like, guys. I'll greatly appreciate it. Make sure you shared this. I'll greatly appreciate that as well. All right. So unless you guys have any other questions, all right, I'll give it a couple of seconds or about a minute to see if there's any other questions before I end it. So if you have any other questions, feel free to type it in now before I end it. So any other questions that you guys have, feel free to type it in. And also just want to thank everybody that's on here, everyone that's going to be watching. I truly, truly appreciate your time. I know this is going to be dropped on YouTube, so the day is going to be different, but it is a Sunday evening or Sunday afternoon, depending where you're at. So the fact that you're taking the time out of your day on a Sunday to be on here, I greatly appreciate it. You didn't have to do it, but you still did it. So that shows a lot, and I appreciate you and your time for that. So thank you, guys. Thank you if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, make sure you click on that subscribe button. And if you're not a member of my Discord, make sure you click on that link to join. And for those that are our current members, I appreciate you guys for being valued members of the server. All right, so with that being said, guys, thank you all for your time. I am going to end this, and I will see you guys in the Discord. All right, so thanks again, guys, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, evening. All right, guys.